Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. He has done everything he can to help enhance and save the Postal Service. Senator, good to have you with us tonight. You know, I go home to Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, a little resort town in upstate Minnesota, 6,000 people. Saturday morning, the post office is packed. People love their post office. America loves their mail. Why in the world was this bill ever passed, and why haven't the Democrats tried to reverse this whole thing? I know you have, but collectively it should be right on the front burner.
Actually, it's an issue that is going to be discussed at caucus tomorrow, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we have legislation which saves tens and tens of thousands of jobs that would otherwise be lost. Here's the most important point for the viewers to understand. In the first quarter of this fiscal year, in terms of operating profits, the U.S. Postal Service earned $765 million. In other words, they enjoyed a very healthy profit margin. The problem is they are operating under an unprecedented burden that no other agency of government, no private company has to do, and that is pre-funding 75 years of retiree health benefits in a 10-year period at about $5 billion a year. That is 100% of the reason right now as to why the Postal Service is, quote-unquote, losing money. Get rid of that onerous burden. Postal Service will be in reasonably good shape.
How could every Democrat in caucus not recognize this? I mean, this should be, lack of a better term, a slam dunk to reverse this.
Well, let me give you the good news, Ed. My legislation has 29 co-sponsors right now. I expect we will get more. And these are people who understand that we get rid of this onerous and unfair burden. We've got to keep the Postal Service open on Saturdays, that in the midst of a terrible recession, terrible economic downturn, you don't cut tens of thousands of good-paying jobs. Our job is to grow middle-class jobs, not to cut them. So I think we're going to have a lot of support in the Democratic caucus. I hope we can pick up some Republican support, but this is a fight I intend to wage in a very strong way.
I want the president checking in on this. More veterans are employed by the Postal Service than any other employer in the country. It would be horrible for small business if this were to go away, even on just Saturdays. Go ahead,
yeah, you're right, Ed. And as chairman of the Veterans Committee, I appreciate that, and you're absolutely right. But here's essentially what the debate is about. Our Republican colleagues, they want to cut Social Security, they want to cut Medicare, they want to cut every government program, including the U.S. Postal Service. Some of us believe very strongly that if you give the Postal Service some flexibility in terms of email, in terms of banking, in terms of being able to wrap packages, give them some flexibility, they will do very, very well. They're doing well today. They will do better. I do not want to see tens of thousands of jobs lost through this onerous process.
And this is all under the umbrella of the Republican mantra to privatize everything they can get their hands on. That's it.
I think that is true.
And I think the Republicans ought to come out and make a statement that they will never touch this money that has been placed in escrow for people's health care and future generations. They won't do that because I think they're going to try to get their mitts on that money down the road sometime.
Look, as you have said, the Postal Service is an enormously popular institution. People like it, respect it. They know that if you live at the end of a dirt road in Vermont, you're going to get your mail. It's a good thing.
Senator, great to have you with us tonight. I appreciate you sticking up for the working folks in the Postal Service. It's vital for the country. Thanks so much.